Nikita Dmitryevich Mazepin is a 22-year-old Russian car racer who's currently part of the Haas F1 Team for the 2021 Formula 1 World Championship, and he's made quite the headlines after his debut. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at what F1 drivers think about Nikita Mazepin. If you like this type of content, then do subscribe to our channel, and let's now move on to the video. If we're being honest, Mazepin has received a lot of backlash after this event, most of which has come from his fellow racers. But before we get into the whys and hows of that, let's look a little bit at Mazepin's achievements in the field. Nikita started his career early on in his life when he went international in 2011. At a very young age, he drove in the KF3 class of the CIK-FIA Karting European Championship. He was also credited for several wins, including when he stood 4th in the KFJ category of the WSK Super Master Series and became vice champion at the Karting World Championship. His first proper car race was in the MRF Challenge Formula 2000 in 2014, where he grabbed a podium and then grabbed another at 2020 in Britain at the FIA Formula 2 Championship. He also stood second in the Red Bull Racing Ring. While Nikita Mazepin has had his fair share of victories, there may be a few reasons he's generally disliked because of his field record. Nikita Mazepin has been caught up in a lot of controversies. An example is when a video of Mazepin grabbing a woman inappropriately from the backseat of a car was released. Following the apparent repercussions, Haas had to issue a statement condemning his actions. Later, Mazepin himself put out an apology for the same. But this is just one of the few times in his career that Mazepin has been caught doing wrong things that tarnished his image and the industry. In 2016, Mazepin was at the receiving end of a race ban after punching another driver, leaving him with a black eye and a swollen jaw. He was also caught responding to a very racist comment made by one of his fans with laughing emojis. Suspiciously enough, this was after the targeted Japanese racer Sonoda beat Mazepin in a race. Besides these happenings outside the track, many have called Mazepin a hazardous driver as he's known to have performed some risky moves. He was also labelled a page driver as his father has supposedly invested a lot into his career. In Haas's defence to this, their boss Gunther Steiner mentioned the names of other racers who are also sponsored but are doing very well in the field. Now to move on to what fellow F1 drivers think about the rookie Nikita Mazepin. Thinking about the other drivers is secondary, but there has to be a problem when you cannot get along with your teammate. The trouble between Nikita Mazepin and Mick Schumacher started in two separate races in Baku and in Zandvoort. Mazepin put Schumacher into a very precarious situation. During the race, Mazepin pushed Schumacher into the wall in Baku and the pit wall in Zandvoort. Both of these incidents could have resulted in fatal injuries. Thankfully, Mick got out unharmed, but furious nonetheless. Since these occurrences, there's been a clash of words between Schumacher and Mazepin over many things. Schumacher's uncle and former Formula 1 racer Ralf Schumacher has also gotten involved since then, making it clear that he believes Mazepin does not belong in F1. Mazepin responded quickly, blaming Mick for needing his family's support, which is ironic considering he also has his father's support. In September though, Ralf clarified that he doesn't question Mazepin's ability to drive, he only feels that his approach is not good. He thinks that Mazepin forcefully wants to prove that he's better than Ralph's nephew. He believes that Mazepin can be better if he changes his approach. Gunther Steiner believes, or wants us to think, that Schumacher and Mazepin have matured since then, and are now on better terms in 2021. That's slightly hard to believe though, considering the chassis drama recently surfaced where Nikita's father made it seem like Haas favoured Mick over Nikita when they gave him a new chassis. Also, let's not forget the time Mazepin felt like Mick had been given a different set of rules to follow. Another ex-Formula 1 driver, Nicholas Kaiser, slammed Mazepin on his performance, more or less calling him a spoiled child. Nicholas mentioned that Mazepin knows that his father will keep paying to support his career regardless of what he does. This comment does not work in favour of Nikita's PR, as earlier comments by people have also pointed out that Haas may be protecting him for the money he brings in. Kaiser also pointed out that Mazepin does not respect the agreements that are made between the racers. What's funny is that Mazepin was accepted into the team after another driver, much like Kaiser hailing from Denmark, was cut. It seems to us that Mazepin's aptitude has been at the core of all his problems, and we've yet another racer commenting on it. Jenson Button, the British car racer, touched on the Mazepin issue after the young driver's very aggressive behaviour in the 3 days of racing at Zandvoort. He said that Nikita needed to tone down his anger if he wanted to sustain his career in the industry. He mentioned that it was not suitable for a racer to be reactive to mistakes. Along with this, he added a few words of advice for Mazepin, saying that solving the issues and moving on is a better idea than clinging onto them and displaying them on the track. He rightly stated that car racing is a dangerous sport, and when the players have a childish or unclear mind, things can go very wrong. Timo Glock has made his views about the issue very clear in a strong statement during an interview with Speed Week. He feels that strict action should be taken against Mazepin for his doings, and if he still does not understand the gravity of the situation, he should be given a race ban. Glock has pointed out that the team won't take action until it's too late, and some real accidents can happen. He says there is no point in taking action after someone gets badly injured. Despite his want for such strict action, he also sympathises with the racers. He feels that Nikita is overwhelmed by so many things happening together, resulting in a number of errors throughout Formula 1. Timo Glock seems to have a very practical approach to this situation, as he has also urged Mick Schumacher to stay calm. In his words, detonating a bomb at the wrong time would not be suitable for either party. He is afraid that if Mick did do something reckless in pursuit of revenge, then both of them could suffer. Till now, we've just looked at all the F1 drivers who've criticised Nikita Mazepin, either for his performance or his aptitude. But some others have either changed their view of him over time or are understanding of the issues he faces. Jolyon Palmer, for example, a racer turned commentator and columnist who had earlier expressed his clear disapproval of Nikita's actions, has now changed his statement. During the Bahrain 2021 qualifications, Jolyon ripped into Nikita, calling his move a violation of the gentleman code of waiting your turn, and called him out for making himself public enemy number 1. Since then though, Palmer has called Nikita's situation a bad boy narrative intentionally propagated by Formula 1. He identifies that Formula 1 purposely fuels the hate against Nikita as it garners attention. Steiner indirectly backed Palmer, as he said he felt the same way. Their claims seem even more valid when you listen to a snippet between Mercedes boss Toto Wolff and race director Michael Massey, where Wolff is heard venting about Nikita to Massey. Palmer rightfully questions this broadcast. Another racer who has stood in support of Nikita Mazepin is Mika Solo. He too was not sure about Mazepin after his disastrous entrance into F1, but has changed his mind it seems. Sala now corrected himself, implying that he did not mean Mazepin didn't belong. He also says that he did not know the car that Mazepin was using was terrible. He says that Nikita has made a lot of progress since his first race at F1. Salo believes that the increasing number of incidents between Mike and Nikita is owed to Nikita's better performance. He also was in favour when Nikita did not receive any repercussions after his move in Zandvoort, calling it a racing incident. Regardless of whatever defence he or Gunther Steiner gave, the humiliation of Nikita Mazepin has continued. It doesn't seem to have progressed in public view, even if he has as a racer. What do you all think? Does he deserve the hate, or is it too old now? Tell us in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And to stay updated, don't forget to hit the bell icon below. Stay safe guys, and bye for now.